Hi all, Jeanette here and old guys with me, and today I went to the local Amish bulk food store and I was looking at a steam juicer. I've been wanting a steam juicer for quite a while and I haven't really wanted to plunk down the $100 bill for it. I'm standing there trying to decide, should I or shouldn't I? And a man who I don't know came along and started talking to me and said he had bought one because he has grapes, and he had been picking all the grapes off and making juice the hard way. And he went ahead and bought one of the steam juicers, and he said it was one of the best things he ever did for his grapes production. Well, one thing leads to another, and next thing I know, he's offering for me to go to his vineyard and pick free grapes. So I rushed home and got old guy, and we came over here, and he's got a vineyard that is a little bit neglected right now. I think he had other things going on, but there are loads and loads of grapes here, and we're out here picking them. These are Concord grapes. They're fairly small, and a lot of them are starting to shrivel up and dry up, but I'm going to be able to get a lot of grape juice out of this, and I'm so excited that I get to turn right around and my new juicer to work. Old guy's carrying the bucket for me, and I've got the clippers that I'm using, and we're starting to fill up a bucket with grapes. So we're back in the car. As you can see by my face, it was really hot out there. It's 88 degrees, the van says, but there's a breeze, so it wasn't too bad. We made it through, and we've got a lot of good grapes, and I'm ready to go home and start processing them. One thing for sure, we can smell these grapes all the way home. They smell so good. So I'm looking forward to some good grape juice. Are you? And we are back home. We didn't do the grapes yesterday evening. I waited till this morning so I could rest and put in a hard day trying to get those all done up. But first I want to show you the steam cooker processor. It's a 3-part unit, and in the bottom here it has like a stock pot that just holds the water. The second layer is actually shaped kind of like an angel food cake pan. It has a hole in the middle here where the steam can rise up out of the bottom pot where the water is boiling. And then on the top pan, it's solid in the middle, and then there are holes like a colander all the way around that the steam comes up and hits that solid part in the middle and spreads the steam around. It cooks the grapes, and then only the juice drips through. Pure juice, no water added except what might come out of the steam a little bit, and collects in this middle section. The middle section has a spout out of it with a hose attached and a stainless steel end on it, and then a clamp. It's a spring-loaded clamp that goes down, and you can shut off your flow with the clamp right here. In the center section of the pan, there's a little spout that goes down to the bottom of the pan, sits right above it, so it acts as a siphon. It picks it up, and you put this end of the spout down lower, and it creates a siphoning effect and pulls the juice out of there, and you can put it into a pan or you can put it directly into your jars. So I need to get my pan washed up since it's brand new, warm soapy water, and then I also want to run my jars through the dishwasher so that I'll have them nice and clean. We picked these grapes and put them in this bucket, and the quickest way I think I've got to fill it up with water so that I can rinse them is outside in the hydrant. So I'm just going to run some water in there to fill the bucket. Now I got to lug that back into the house. As I jiggle the grapes around a little bit, the trash and the dried up grapes float to the top, and I can sort that out. We just had a rain before I picked these, not very long, so I don't feel like they're probably too dusty or dirty. But I'll sort some of that stuff out of there. The directions that came with my cooker say to pick everything off the stems, but I've talked to several people who choose not to do that and they think it works fine. So I will cut a little bit of the excess stems off, but I'm not going to pick everything off, and then I'm also going to pick off anything that's squishy and not run that through it. So that's what I'll be doing for a while here, just sorting through these. I don't want it to take a long time because that's not going to be fun. I got a big bunch of them in the pan. I got my pan full. I still need to have enough room to be able to put the lid on snugly, which I can. I took most of the stems off, but I did leave small clusters together. I picked out any squishy ones, and I'm ready to get them on top of the other pan on the stove. The instructions say to put 5 quarts of water in the pan, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so that fills it up just to the bottom of these rivets that hold the handles on. So next time I won't bother with the jar, I'll just fill it up to that point. First I'll put on this catching pan, the one with the spout on it, and then I set the berries on top of that. Then I'll put the lid on and turn the burner on high. I'll let that cook for a while and we'll see what happens. This is my first time ever doing this, so it's a learning process for me. I'm going to do a test to see what we think. There's some juice built up in there, so I'm going to open this up and run the juice into a few ice cubes to cool it down. It'll water it down a little bit too, but it's still going to be warm. It's not going to be cool juice, but we're going to try it and see what we think. So old guy came in and he's my guinea pig. We're going to see.
Tastes pretty good to me.
Okay. It doesn't taste bitter?
No.
It tastes slightly bitter to me, but not real bad.
A little bit of sugar in it and it'll kill it.
I think I will put a little bit of sugar in it. I was hoping that it would be good enough that I wouldn't have to add any sugar to it, but I think that it needs some sugar. The grapes were quite small. Probably if they were big and nice and the grove had been taken care of, that I expect they might have been a little bit sweeter. But it's a little bit sour, a little bit bitter maybe, and I'm going to add some sugar to it.
Well, she added just a small dab of sugar to her grape juice, and it tastes very good to me with just a little bit of sugar. I think I could drink a gallon of it right now.
Whenever I lift the top pan, you can see down in there that hole. I can't let the juice get up to that hole and let it run over and down into the water, so I need to drain some off. I brought this table in to sit right under the stove so that I can put the jar on the table and run a little tube down into it. So we'll see what happens here. Okay. Runs down in there pretty quick. That tube's getting hot. Supposed to fill it within 1/4 of an inch, I think. But I'm going to stop right there, and some more juice will run out of that. Splatter. Okay, so there's my first jar. Have to decide how much sugar I'm going to put into it. I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of sugar in a quart of, and that fills it up to full. There we go. I'll have to allow for the sugar in the future. Well, I've determined that 1/4 cup is plenty, so I also determined that my best idea is to go ahead and put the sugar in at the beginning before I put the juice in. ¼ inch. Stir it up with my chopstick. I'll wipe the top down with a clean cloth. Make sure there's no particles or juice on there that would keep it from sealing. Then I'll set my lid on and I'll put a ring on, just finger tight. I'll water bath that for 15 minutes, I believe, and it'll be sealed up and we'll have good juice for the winter. Well, the first batch is done, and I got 3 quart jars and another like 3/4 quart jar, and it looks like maybe I used about 2 quarts or so of water in that process. I'm going to fill that back up, get another batch going, and keep on trucking. I'm putting the used grape pulp in this bucket out here. I expect I'll probably feed it to the ducks. I ended up with 30 quarts of nice grape juice. I think it was best if I added 1/4 cup of sugar to each quart. This is really quite concentrated juice. It's pure juice, and so I can get away with watering it down by maybe 1/4, so I could have 5 cups of juice instead of 4 cups of juice, and I don't think anybody would think that it was watered down. Or we can drink it straight, however we want to do it. So thanks for coming along with me as I learn how to use my steam juicer, and as I get the grapes, and so we'll see you next time. Bye for now.